Then one of the crowd answered and said, "Teacher, I brought you my son who has a mute spirit, and wherever it seizes him, it throws him down. He foams at the mouth, gnashes his teeth, and becomes rigid. So I spoke to your disciples that they should cast it out, but they could not." He answered him and said, "O faithless generation, how long shall I be with you? How long shall I bear with you? Bring him to me." Then they brought him to him, and when he saw him, immediately the spirit convulsed him, and he fell on the ground and wallowed, foaming at the mouth. So he asked his father, "How long has this been happening to him?" And he said, "From childhood, and often he has thrown him both into the fire and into the water to destroy him. But if you can do anything, have compassion on us and help us." Jesus said to him, "If you can believe, all things are possible to him who believes." Immediately the father of the child cried out and said with tears, "Lord, I believe. Help my unbelief." Mark 9:17-24. All things are possible for him who believes. What is he talking about? He was telling this man to believe that God could do what he was asking. So we have now been shown that if we believe, then God will save you, heal you, and even remove a demonic spirit from your life. If you believe, you shall receive. That is a biblical fact. We cannot even receive the word of God unless we believe. And when a great multitude had gathered, and they had come to him from every city, he spoke by a parable. A sower went out to sow his seed, and as he sowed, some fell by the wayside, and it was trampled down, and the birds of the air devoured it. Some fell on rock, and as soon as it sprang up, it withered away because it lacked moisture. And some fell among thorns, and the thorns sprang up with it and choked it. But others fell on good ground, sprang up, and yielded a crop 100-fold. When he had said these things, he cried, "He who has ears to hear, let him hear." Luke 8:4-8. Now the parable is this. The seed is the word of God. Those by the wayside are the ones who hear. Then the devil comes and takes away the word out of their hearts, lest they should believe and be saved. But the ones on the rock are those who, when they hear, receive the word with joy, and these have no root, who believe for a while, and in time of temptation fall away. Now the ones that fell among thorns are those who, when they have heard, go out and are choked with cares, riches, and pleasures of life, and bring no fruit to maturity. But the ones that fell on the good ground are those who, having heard the word with a noble and good heart, keep it and bear fruit with patience. Luke 8:11-15. The ones that fell on the road were eaten and did not receive the word of God because they never believed. If they would have believed, the word would have gone in. Didn't believe, didn't receive. The second soil is actually referred to as a believer, who believed for a while. But when the sun came up, their belief withered. They believed and received, but the suffering was too much. The third soil also believed and received, but the cares of this world choked the fruit that their lives should have produced. Then there are the ones who have good ground and keep the word of God, which the Lord referred to as a disciple in Isaiah 8:16. They work through the hard times and ultimately bear fruit. So in this parable, we have 3 believers, but only one bears fruit, the disciple. What did Jesus say? "By this my Father is glorified, that you bear much fruit. So you will be my disciples." John 15:8. What is my point? My point is that a believer is different than a disciple. I do hope that you are all believers. But without faith, it is impossible to please him. For he who comes to God must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of those who diligently seek him. Hebrews 11:6.
Thank you for listening to the audio version of His Final Words, a discipleship manual by Travis Hunt. This audiobook will continue in the following videos.